Hello everyone, I am Crawlers and this is another episode of Ridiculous Loadout. As you may have already guessed, this is a series I started way back when in the Battlefield 3 days, basically whoring myself out for cheap views, running a suggested loadout from one of you in the comments section. Mostly this is a not so tactical series where most of the loadouts are either troll or bad or just plain ugly looking. Rarely I get a chance to try out a combination, a kit that I haven't thought of before and maybe have good results with it. Mostly not though. So today a real specific loadout suggestion comes from a Joe Poe, and he's even included the camo I should use on this one. He was that specific. Gotta love all those kinds of suggestions because they are just so specific and they don't really leave you any room for doubt, for which parts to use. So I kind of love those really specific suggestions, right down to the last nuts and bolts. So the suggestion from Joe Poe is an interesting one. An M4 burst fire carbine, and I'll get to the significance of that in a second. An IR&V scope, muzzle brake or silencer, canted iron sights, angled grip or bipod, depending on the situation obviously, C4 or mortar, since he asked me to run it either as support or the recon class, Ripple or Stardust camo, actually I think he meant Starburst, a silenced 45 with no camo, or rather the default camo, and if running the recon class, which I did, equip the Spec Ops squad perk. Now, as you can see, I chose to run the recon class as I think the character looks a little bit more badass with the jungle camis and, the hat, and frankly, the M4 carbine being available to all classes in Battlefield 4, unlike Battlefield 3, I could do this no problem. Obviously, I chose to run the angled grip and the C4 instead of the bipod and the mortar, as I thought that would really supplement this kit a lot better, finding a place to put down the bipod just to fire the M4's short burst seems like a little bit of a waste. Now, this has actually been a lot of fun kit to play with, and being a real specific loadout, I came up with a bit of a style to it, also equipping the smoke grenades, but more about that in a second. So the standard M4 in Battlefield 4 is obviously a carbine, and therefore, as I said, is available to all classes. It does a max damage of 25 at 8 meters, which drops off to 14.5 at 50 meters, which appears to be the standard damage model for the 5.56 round in Battlefield 4 for all the carbines. Now, it can fire in bursts or semi-auto, but not full auto, from a box magazine of 30 rounds at 800 rounds per minute rate of fire. The standard muzzle velocity is 580 meters a second, which appears to be second only to the AK-5C, but it severely loses out when the suppressor cuts down on that muzzle velocity to a mere 320 meters a second. Obviously, then people can see on the minimap, but I think it's too big of a trade-off to be, suppressed that muzzle velocity loss. Another area where the M4 shines is the tactical reload time, or the short reload time. It has the shortest short reload of any carbine, sharing first place with the AK-5C, probably the reason that the AK-5C is such a widely used carbine. And the short reload time is only 1.85 seconds. And the long reload time of 2.4 seconds is also just shy of first place. Now, right now it has a vertical per shot recoil of 0.34, which, as I said in my last video, DICE said they would buff in the future patch, and to make them for a more viable weapon to choose from. And a left recoil of 0.1 and a right recoil of 0.4. Now, its first shot multiplier is 2.5, which has been a pretty hot topic for burst fire weapons. To be completely honest here, I think burst fire weapons should be completely rid of the first shot multiplier to highlight their accuracy over automatic rifles, but apparently DICE decided that that would be going too far. So they have patched this system, though in one of the first Battlefield 4 patches, but where they moved the first shot multiplier from the first shot to the last shot in the burst for burst fire weapons like the M4. So that that's a step in the right direction, at least. That it basically means that while in games like Battlefield 3, burst fire weapons were pretty much unusable because when you fired, you had boom, kick, boom, boom happen. So your last two shots from the burst were likely to be way off target, but in Battlefield 4, you have this boom, 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 and then kick. So where you now have most of the shots being more tightly grouped together because the first shot multiplier major kick only applies to the last shot after you've already likely hit the target. Of course, all this assumes the per shot vertical recoil still exists because you can't really get away from that one. And obviously, in this loadout, I have the angled foregrip equipped, so the first shot multiplier of the M4, which used to be 2.5, now becomes 1.675, which is obviously better for making follow-up bursts because you aren't going to be so much off target after the first burst. So, that's probably the only reason that I chose it. Now, I've already covered the suppressor in this kit, which horribly nerfs the muzzle velocity from a standard 580 meters a second to a measly 320 meters a second. But I'll mention the IR and V scope real quick, as it is another accessory. Now, the scope is a tiny bit different from the FLIR scope, or the forward-looking infrared scope, also available in Battlefield 4, which was a bit of a pain to unlock since it was hidden in the third goddamn battle pack down the road. But I digress. Well, it shows everything like night vision on a green scale, dark is dark green, and people seem to light up bright yellow, and it makes picking out targets much easier, especially at range. And it has another bonus to it, which I quickly took advantage of in this loadout. It can see through smoke. Now you see the wheels turning, things clicking into place, right? Yes, this is why I equipped the smoke grenades. This is a very good trick to ambush pursuing enemies. You stop, turn around, drop a smoke grenade, and wait for them to rush you. When they blow past you, you will take out everyone, or at least give yourself a chance to reload, or maybe regenerate some HP. Now, the IR and V scope is great, but why use the canted iron sights then? Well, because they are such a big difference from one another that for different situations. Use different tools. The iron V scope isn't great in brightly lit up areas, and it isn't too great for close encounter situations. So if I'm outside or if I expect to be ambushed up close and personal, I'm gonna use the canted iron sights. Well, that and I look seriously gangster when holding the gun sideways. In real life, of course, it's bullshit because only idiots and movie stars hold their guns sideways, but in the game it looks awesome and very cool. Also, as you can probably see from the gameplay, if you can make it out, I sort of found a good ambush spot on Lanking Dam where I could put my C4 to good use. Now, the first time I tried this trick and just threw down some C4 at the base of the stairs and just stood back waiting for my next victim to come along. But after my first try, after I blew the C4, I saw that it could be made even more evil. The setup, I mean the ambush. You see, when I blew my C4 the first time, I inadvertently took out some steam pipes on the corner of the building, which in itself wasn't enough to kill anyone walking past as they got a blast of hot steam, but I saw hit markers when they walked past and were hit with the steam. So I put some more C4 in the exact same spot, except this time I hid upstairs and nowhere near the stairs so the victim couldn't see me when I ambushed him. So as soon as someone walked by and walked by the blast of steam and I saw a hit marker, I knew right there then that had to be an enemy, and I set off the C4, finishing the job. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Ridiculous Loadout. Thanks for watching. Please rate and share this video as it helps my channel grow. Check out my other videos at the end of this one. And remember, in Soviet Russia, YouTube subscribes you.